how unprofessional can you get to look like you're going to be cheap to save money before the client gets scared?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So what type of labor are you looking for? So if somebody's going to come, dig holes in my yard with a shovel, fine. Fine. I'll go out there and manage them and dig holes. And I'm on top of them all day long, and we're planting plants not too low, not too high, right? But if they're going to come out and do work on my heating and air conditioning system, I'm going to give somewhere where I'm like, hey, here's the catch to this whole deal. If it's that unprofessionally done, it doesn't that's what I was saying earlier. It won't optimize anyway.
Right.
So
also.
If it's in a competitive category, if somebody's going to come in and do landscape work, I'm maybe okay if it doesn't look great, but as it begins to look worse, it's going to continually go down in ranking anyway.
You would be okay with it not looking great unless there was one that did look great.
True.
That's the thing.
If I could find one that looked good and still made me feel like I was going to save money.
Yeah, exactly.
And looked experienced. Hey there, guys. It's Nolan and Jason here with
Howdy.
HVAC Webmasters. We're going to talk about, the topic today is, does your website convert? So I get this from clients a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess this is a good one for Jason because he's creative director, among other things. And I wanted to start with my take on this first. Now, a lot of times I know the design's poorly done, but most of the time when I get this call, they simply don't optimize enough.
Right.
So most of the time when someone calls and says, well, I'm getting them, but it's just bouncing all over the place. We got a 75% bounce rate. And, you're like, well, that's not horrible, really.
Yeah.
75%,
it sounds bad.
Right.
If you don't, we've got all this data we look at that we see, what really happens.
I'm not saying it doesn't get better than that.
You can get better, but 75 is not horrible.
It's not horrible. Normally, when somebody goes into this, now it's not that we wouldn't get a better conversion, but there's an underlying issue that they don't have enough stinking clicks.
Right.
Yeah, so they haven't actually been found enough. And we can get into that a little bit later, but yes, you can affect conversion. Yes, you can get more people to call. Most of the time, if you start talking about words like funneling and things like that, there's just not enough people at the top of the funnel.
Right.
Top
of the funnel is supposed to be big.
Yeah, so once proper conversion happens, it's as a result of proper design, code-based calls to action and other things. And then also so presumably if you're at the top of search rankings, somebody that knew this stuff already did a lot of it properly.
Right.
So typically when we get into a conversion topic, it's somebody with really low quality web effort in general.
Right.
But
they just don't get as many clicks in the first place.
There's not as much activity.
Traffic.
Having said that, I'm going to turn it over to Jason, though, who knows all about this stuff, and talk about calls to action and phone numbers, and we can talk about Lego stacking and stuff like that if you want to.
Cool.
But
conversion, it sounds like all arcane and mysterious and everything, but it's not. It's simple stuff.
Yeah.
How many times I see it all the time when we're looking at a potential client's website or something. Sometimes they have a site that looks gorgeous, and you go look at it, and it's like, hey, this is nice. There's a nice, beautiful picture there. Everything's laid out well. Wait, where's the phone number?
Yeah.
And the phone number, it's missing or it's tiny, and that's just silly. That's how people are going to reach you.
It's a new trend.
Yeah, that tiny phone number in the upper right, and your phone number should be large, and things like where you are and what you do. This is marketing from 100 years ago, 101, but it still applies.
Right.
Where you are and what you do is the most important thing about you. Your logo may be gorgeous, your photos of your work may be gorgeous, but none of that matters if nobody knows who you are and what your services are.
So we do up to 3 free logo revisions for somebody that has a really bad logo or basically New Times Roman font.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that it hurts their conversion that much. So we've noticed over the years that when we didn't do a logo for somebody that basically had a horrific logo or not one,
just had text or whatever,
that the site would do poorly. So the conversion would go. And this sort of stuff, it's not necessarily the technical definition of what we might talk about with conversion, but if the stuff looks bad, you're definitely going to have a higher bounce rate. Right?
Yeah, I mean, people, especially in this day and age, people respond to good visual design better.
Right.
And they will, if they go to a site, I remember when web got started and everybody was putting up their own websites and they were all horrible looking. But everybody would tell you your website was beautiful because you did it yourself and they didn't want to upset you.
Yeah.
But people go to a website that's ugly, they go back, they go find something they can look at that looks nice.
It's a sign of an unprofessional business.
Right, exactly.
How unprofessional can you get to look like you're going to be cheap to save money before the client gets scared?
Right.
Right. So what type of labor are you looking for? So if somebody's going to come, dig holes in my yard with a shovel, fine. Fine. I'll go out there and manage them and dig holes. And I'm on top of them all day long and we're planting plants not too low, not too high, right? But if they're going to come out and do work on my heating and air conditioning system, I'm going to give somewhere where I'm like, hey, here's the catch to this whole deal. If it's that unprofessionally done, it doesn't. That's what I was saying earlier. It won't optimize anyway.
Right.
So
Also,
if it's in a competitive category, if somebody's going to come in and do landscape work, I may be okay if it doesn't look great. But as it begins to look worse, it's going to continually go down in ranking anyway.
You would be okay with it not looking great unless there was one that did look great.
True.
That's the thing.
If I could find one that looked good and still made me feel like I was going to save money.
Yeah, exactly.
And looked experienced. Yeah.
Google, doesn't have they don't have a part of the algorithm that's an art critic that looks at sites and goes, very pleasing to the eye, and puts you at the top.
Yeah.
They rank your design based on the behavior of visitors. Right. People don't stay very long. They assume that there's something wrong with the design or content, and you get downranked for that.
Right.
If you create a site that people want to be on, your site ranks higher because Google sees that people spend more time there.
We've been talking about this recently on something related, and if people do, we're big fans of any kind of marketing that returns.
Absolutely anything.
Anything that returns, it doesn't really matter. So you won't really find us saying, sometimes when people call, I actually offer something that we don't do. What's next to do? So we always go, first it's organic, because that's the best return. You get organic keywords and mapping and reviews. And then after that, we might do, some sort of paid ad management, whether it be AdWords or Facebook or something. But I was talking about conversion when it came to like searching of someone's branded name. It's kind of gotten me interested again recently in exterior web marketing.
Yeah.
Even though, and I don't even know what I do with it yet. I'm just really preliminarily thinking about it, not necessarily for us, because we were looking at this stuff for us a little bit, but for like an HVAC contractor, when people search their name on a local level, it indirectly helps the organic search results.
Right.
So especially when people search the branded name itself.
Right. That's just in case you guys don't know. If more people know about you and search for your name, that actually increases your overall.
We need to do a podcast about that.
Yeah, we probably should.
Branded.
We'll table that for later.
Yeah, we'll table the branded name search. So you can do stuff when you start talking about, but a lot of, there's so much stuff that can relate back to conversion. So, and then there's so much confusion on the business owner's part about what causes conversion. And what helps out. And so literally you could have a print distribution that broke even but caused something. I can't say that out loud. There was like two double negatives there. What do they call that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Print and break even. But use it. No, I can't say that. But if you had something that made people, for some reason, type in your name, and it broke even, I just so against some of these marketing methods at this point that I can't stand it. But
this relates back to something we tried last year.
Yeah. But anyway, so for me, if I go back to the conversion side of things, it's going to be when I go to a website, I want to quickly, because there's still junk on the web everywhere, and so I could have gotten tricked. It could be some crud website, so I want to make sure that it's a local business in my city. I want to see a local phone number. and I want to see, the name of the service and everything that lines up with what I want to do. So, so the company name and logo looks like an HVAC contractor. It's in my city, and there's a local phone number.
Right.
And then if I find that, I immediately I set my mind at ease. And really, for me, after that, I'm looking for a feel-good personalization effect. And so we have a lot of happy clients, a lot of happy HVAC companies that did not ever give us personalized photos.
Yeah.
That get clicks and calls and ranking. But I'm telling you that it's better if they had personalized it by getting pictures of the family or the truck. It could be one guy in the truck. Really,
but if you got a picture of your truck with a decal on the side or a wrap, even better.
Yeah.
That we've seen like huge differences in conversion over that, because people automatically think that's a real business. That's a real guy.
Let's be honest. If it's an HVAC or a plumber or something like that, you're scared automatically.
Right.
I'm gonna get messed around. Not gonna get treated fair. I'm scared. And so I go to the website. It's like, okay, they're in my city. They do their air conditioning repair work. They've got my local area code, and I've got reviews that I can see that are coming in from around here from Google and stuff. And we frame all that into the website, by the way, which is another conversion issue. And then there's a picture of the guy or the team, and I'm like, okay, I feel better.
And they're clean. They have on uniforms.
Yeah.
It's not just some dudes.
No one's sitting there frowning at you.
Yeah. Occasionally we'll have a client send us a picture, and you got like 3 angry guys, and it's like, could you maybe try again?
No muscle shirt on with excessive shoulder hair. They're looking like I'm about to get a noogie.
I feel attacked.
Hey, don't show it at work though. I didn't say if you had it or not. I'm saying a muscle shirt on with excessive shoulder hair, and then you're like, hey, this guy's gonna whoop my butt and take my money. Anyway, so it's your barber after that next time. Could you move your shirt down, Jason?
We're just gonna do a whole body thing.
Let me dip you in wax, roll you in gauze, and whip it up, rip off everything. Anyway, so yeah, but people are looking for that sort of stuff. Like, humanize the website, make them feel comfortable.
Right.
Heck, you can be a big burly guy like Jason here.
We had a client that straight up had a mohawk.
Yep.
And
a picture of it on the website.
And a picture of it, but he still, he had a mohawk and a beard like mine.
But his dad was there with his grandkid on his knee.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so that softened it, and we did great for that guy.
Yeah.
He got a ton of leads
It was
off
an
our
unbelievable.
site.
No telling what it would have been without the mohawk.
Yeah, God knows. Yeah, he came into our office one day to sit down and have a meeting on strategy, and this guy walks in, and we're like, oh boy.
Yeah, he could have been
he was bigger than me. And mohawk, big beard, the whole bit.
He could have wrestled Big Show or something.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. Maybe not. Big Show would have tore him up.
Yeah,
but.
Big Show's huge. Respect to the Big Show.
So pics and personalization and header and footer clarity is another thing. So there's links to stuff. There's links to your social media. Everything's just clear. We do a new, our home pages are very. You still have to have content on these things. It can't just be stripped of all content, but they're done in a very clear, precise manner that typically is structured with a story and has blocking categories and pictures and stuff. So it's easy for them to have the content that Google needs to optimize it.
Right.
Have something for them to read if they want to, but not make it too hard to read. I call it a Denny's menu.
Yeah.
And some other people at a meeting that we went to for SEO called it like the Homer effect.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
So it's
grab their attention and not confuse them too much.
Right.
Yeah.
It's clear and enriched, but dumbed down all at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't like to put it that way, but yeah.
But that's what she kind of meant by
yeah. She absolutely did.
I'm that way. I mean, you know I am. When my brain is like, whoa, I don't want to read all that. That's
you want a picture and a caption, and that leads you
a few
to
words.
That leads you, if you do feel like reading up on it.
Correct.
That leads you to the meaty stuff in the interior of the site, and that's where it's just an article, and you can choose to read it or not.
So if you don't have that meaty stuff, you're going to not optimize for the keyword terms. So don't get us wrong. I've said this before, but two of the most common sites I've been pointed out over the time, I like Apple computers and BMW. I'm like, okay, so you're not Apple computers or BMW, so you can't do a website like that. The algorithm for them is different than you, and for you, if you don't have content about all your services, we have pages for heating parts replacement, air conditioning parts replacement. We definitely have pages for furnace and heater and air conditioning repair and blowers, and all that stuff is represented. All the different brands. If you don't have pages, your organic keywords won't show up. Your mapping won't show up. That's what I was talking about early on. So we can talk about conversion, but hey, if you don't have all the other stuff, they don't find you. They convert.
And incidentally, those we were talking about pictures and how that helps your conversion. That also helps your ranking in a direct way. Google can see pictures. They know. I mean, anyone who's done a reverse image search knows that they can see that
Nobody
stuff.
here's done a reverse image search, so explain it to them.
Okay, you can go to Google image search. Normally you'd go in and say, cat pictures, and you get a bunch of pictures of cats, but you can also upload a picture of a cat that's sitting on your desktop, upload it to Google and say, look for this one, and they'll show you how many sites have used that exact picture.
Right.
So all of those stock pictures that you see on sites out there, they know how many times they've been used.
What do we have to use if somebody doesn't give us pictures?
We have to use stock. We have to use those same pictures because surprisingly, the stock photo vendors only have so many pictures of that work.
Installing an HVAC unit.
Yeah, or any kind of water heater or something like that. They just don't have them. And the worst part is half the time they're weird to the American eye, because like a whole buttload of them are taken.
They're from Norway.
Yeah, they're somewhere in Northern Europe.
Blue jumpsuits on it, and guys with blonde hair
and hard hats.
With a hard hat and a really big creepy smile.
Yeah, and they're wearing hard hats to do HVAC work
chili
or
bowl
plumbing
crew
work.
cut combo.
Yeah, and it's like what? And they're always wearing these royal blue coveralls and stuff that you would never see in America. So they look weird to us anyway, and Google knows that they've been used over and over, and they don't exactly penalize you for it, but they don't give you the same credit that they would.
We don't think
an
there's
original.
a penalty, but they don't give you points for it. Instead of, I think that penalization is kind of a thing of the past in some ways, and things should be looked at like for credit you do get. So I look at it 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. And anyway,
according to Google, a penalty only happens if you're doing something so egregiously bad that an actual person has to look at your site.
Well,
like if the algorithm will flag something, and this is according to Google, and who knows if they're telling the truth. This is all recent developments. This is all in the past year.
You used to get penalized all the time.
Yeah, the algorithm used to penalize all the time. But in recent stuff, they claim, we're not even 100% sure we believe it.
I believe this a little bit, though,
that the algorithm will flag something and it'll have to be reviewed by a person, and that person will look at it and say, oh yeah, these guys are dirty, and knock you down.
Right.
But, but a penalty is one thing, but not getting credit, that does happen. Because if you're not putting forth the effort, you don't get credit for it.
So we go, if we can find photos, and a lot of time they're not high enough quality, we can get them off of Facebook, or I don't think Google Plus doesn't let us have them or something, or didn't used to.
Well, Google Plus is basically dead.
It's Plus,
but
GMB.
The Google My Business page tries to prevent us from getting the pictures.
Yeah, so we're trying to get these personalized photos we can. It used to about 1 out of 10 people gave one to us, if that, and now it may be 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
And any client who has personalized photos they give them to us doesn't mean we don't keep them for years because our work's stinking fantastic. It just means we notice the ones that have personalized photos do better.
Right.
The conversion's higher.
I mean, that's why we know, is because we keep them for years and we're able to compare.
Yeah.
We've got all this data to look at. I mean, just about any client we talk to, we say, hey, when you're out on the job, pull out your phone, take a picture of what you're doing.
Upload it to
Maybe it's just some pipe or conduit or whatever.
It could be a weird deal. It could be something weird you found in a clog.
Yeah, whatever. But it's better than stock.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you could be cleaning coils on an HVAC system and send it to us and show us service, I think.
Yeah,
And then we have a page of coils being cleaned on the coil cleaning page.
Right,
You know?
right.
I mean, which is great.
Yeah.
but we never get that detail of stuff, but it does help.
Yeah. When we do get it, those sites always do better. We see it over and over.
We don't need tons, by the way. We
Yeah.
don't need as much that would go on like social media. We just need like, you know, if I had anything, I'd take the home picture of personalization or whatever they had.
Right.
Just the guy, a fleet of 10 trucks and 30 people, or a family, and, you know, guy and a wife and a kid
Right.
that was real in front of a truck. Just anything. And after that, I might take 20 more photos, and that's usually enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
That'll do
take
it.
maybe 50 or something, but that's enough, and that optimizes it so much more than anyone we've ever had. Okay, so you know I like to keep these short and sweet. You got
Right.
anything else that you want to talk about on this for personalization or calls to action? Or?
No, I mean, I think we covered it. It's just, like you said, calls to action, consistently remind people. It's really tempting to, like I said, put the phone number in one corner and say, okay, that's enough. But people scroll through, they're on their phone, they can be doing this for 10 minutes or whatever. Remind them regularly as they go through how to reach you. That's the single most important thing. And it sounds silly that I even have to say it, but we do have to say it. And just constantly remind them this is how you reach us, either a form or an email or a phone call, however it is.
Which we have all of that. And
Right.
by the way, it is really common to put the phone number in a really small font in the top left-hand corner.
Right.
And if somebody's having to scroll around and they can't find it and the site looks unprofessional anyway, they're going to move on.
Right.
So causes a conversion issue like we're talking about. But all sorts of things can help. I'll end with this one more thing. It's not all just website work. And so it can be a video that you did. It can be social postings. It could be a combination of things of seeing organic optimization, map placement, review integration, see people seeing you on social media. They might have found you through a video that you put up on YouTube or that we did for you that we optimized to show up on Google. And then it all had some synergistic effect to have a higher conversion rate.
Right.
It can all work together for a higher conversion.
Every signal that you send to that potential customer that you're a real business and you're trustworthy and you're professional and you do good work will help your conversion.
It will. And so somebody who's going down and thinking about conversion is typically on a preliminary path of this.
Right.
But it can go oh so far beyond that. And we've seen it happen in our business and lots of our clients' businesses. If you focus on just general outreach and increasing of your authority of your brand, not only on the website and off the website, and even on auxiliary things that aren't on the search engine, you will see conversion increase.
Right.
We can explain more, but it'd get too detailed for this particular conversation. We've got other stuff about it. As always, we'd love to be of service. Give us a call someday.
See you later.